Ouais. Donc là, je sais plus où j'en suis. Je ne sais plus où j'en suis. Est-ce qu'on m'entend bien? Bon, ça va, on m'entend bien. Nickel. Alors. Disque de la crèche.
The desk appears.
Tissue markings. The texts are enciphered. It's a story about
Elle part d'Orphéris, ouais, d'Orphéris.
Orpheus.
Your head buzzes in concert with Lae'zel's, but it hardly matters. Even without the connection.
Githyanki writing. Every word a wheel. Every letter a spoke. The most powerful texts are engraved in slate. Some so ancient, only the most erudite Gish can read them.
Qui est Orphéis?
Traitor.
Non, depuis longtemps, non, mais non, je pense pas.
This text is heresy.
Ouais, je pense qu'elle est un peu absorbée par le. Je pense que la comète, deuxième partie, ok. Mène à lui-même les troupes de ses gardes donnés en combat. Leur dragon rouge s'est mis à rugir une fureur illégitime et les cieux s'embrasèrent.
Praise be to my mother Gith, the queen of the one sky. But the true heir, the prince of the comet, could not overcome Vlaakith's
Raison, machin, ok. Bien-être, machin. Je pense que c'est pas un imposteur. Il s'est fait niquer par sa reine. Elle est endoctrinée, c'est sûr et certain. Allez, voilà, et si c'était vrai, parce qu'on dirait bien que Valkis, sa reine, la déesse des Gaïtes, là, des Gaïtes, je sais pas quoi, leur race a trahi Gith et s'est emparé du trône. Ouais, je pense que c'est ça. Hein. Ouais, bah évidemment. Enfin, tu peux rien me faire, Michel. T'es niveau 1 en plus. Un couvoir, ok, j'ai été choqué parce que ouais. Ils sont un peu. C'est affreux. La vie n'a-t-elle donc aucune valeur pour les qui. Je sais pas comment. Petit machin. Ouais, d'accord.
Every trainee that I slayed was either too weak to withstand the lessons, or was cocky enough to pick a fight they could never win. Their lives were not precious. They were a blight that
ouais, c'est des fous. Hein.
The Githyanki are only as powerful as their weakest warrior. Jaquith de Venzir, the termination of the frail, strengthens us.
Ouais. En tout cas, t'es chelou, ma pauvre fille. Et du coup, attends, l'autre, elle est où? Et tout le monde est là, sauf... Bon, eh ben, je retourne au camp. Qui c'est le camp? Faut que je retrouve mes potes là, parce que... Lui, du coup, il est resté là. Tête de fion. Ça veut dire qu'il faut que je fasse... Allez. Oh merde. Il est où le... Non mais pas là, tête de fion. Putain. Il s'y connaît en matière de récupération des espèces. Mort vivant. J'ai pas vu. Allez, caméra. Tu vas là. Non, je sais pas. What? C'est quoi cette merde? Ah, je confonds. Mais non, c'est là. Normalement, je pouvais grimper ici. Alors, peut-être là, alors. Ouais, ici. Hello guys. Ouais, ils sont là, c'est très bien. Bon, vous venez Eh oh. Eh oh, venez. Oh. Cassez les couilles.
Another dead end. If the tadpole doesn't kill us, trying to cure it just might. Really?
Ouais,
If you insist.
on va recommence.
So, the Githyanki have no cure for our condition. Unless you count death as a cure. I won't pretend to be surprised. A shame. I thought we were doing well together. Perhaps.
Ah, casse-toi, Michel. Pourquoi il faut que je retrouve l'autre là? Du coup, j'ai tué tous les. C'est quoi ça?
Monastery's notable keepers adorn these intricate panels. Lathendarian monasteries of this size were usually overseen by dawn masters, esteemed members of the clergy. Several of the pictured dawn masters remind you of monks who would dedicate their lives to mastering specific weapons of war. The reconsecration of the monastery, conducted by Dawn Master Seed. Evensong before the Zenith Day, celebrated by Dawn Master Stockhold. Dawn Master Vasaid wielding... The rest of the inscription and picture has shattered away. Dawn Master Welkin Glory beckons forth the rising sun in Lathander's name. Dawn Master Welkin Glory.
The weapon stopped glowing. How odd.
Dawn Master Seed.
Ah, il faut les armes du coup là.
Dawn Master Stockhold.
Il faut 4 armes. Qu'est-ce que j'en sais moi des armes?
Monastery's notable keepers adorn these the reconsecration of
Un
the
marteau.
monastery. Evensong before the Zenith Day, celebrated by Dawn Master Stockhold.
Le truc que j'ai là.
Dawn Master
Et une
Welkin
épée,
Glory.
ouais.
Back Dawn Master Vasaid
Et là je sais pas.
wielding the rest. Dawn Master
Ouais.
Vasaid.
Bref, on s'en bat les couilles. Il n'y a rien à voir par là. Porte enchantée. Ah, casse pas les couilles. Ouais, c'est quoi ça? Ah oui, d'accord.
The Guardian of Faith spell, and a remarkably long-lasting one at that.
Mais il me fait rien lui. Un peu con, Michel. Eh oh. Ça on s'en bat les couilles.
What's that?
Il me fait rien. Oh, c'est marrant. C'est quoi ça? Mhm. Ah ok, on est là. Oh, c'est compliqué tout ça. Hein. Putain. Ouais. Ouais, on s'en fout. Non. Merci où? Hmm. Ça ne me fait rien, ça ne me fait rien.
Can't wait.
En gros là, hop, tu viens? Michel? Porte en fer. Hein. Y'a quoi là-dedans? Non mais... Ok, il veut pas...
The blade of frontiers at your court. The blade and just when
Grouille-toi, casse-toi. Pourquoi je peux pas rentrer dedans là, y'a quoi? Il me dit pas qu'il faut que j'allume le truc. Oh non, il y avait juste ça à faire. Bon, ils sont tous morts. Ils sont tous décédés.
Yankee blade if ever I saw one.
Quoi? Qu'est-ce qu'il a dit là, Michel? Mhm. Bon, je reviens là-dedans, mais pourquoi, je sais pas. Ils sont tous dead. Tous dead. Ils sont tous cramés. Ah, il y a plein de coffres. Mhm. Je vais voir le journal. Hmm. Bizarre ça. Je vais voir le journal. Mhm. Hmm. Vous pas eu le temps. Alors, je vais sauvegarder. Mais si ça se passe mal, je vais recharger la partie. Je le sens. Je sens que ça va être nul à chier là. Je le sens, je le sens, je le sens. Je sens que c'est une mauvaise idée.
Heat pulses out of the astral prism as it begins to flower.
Stylé.
A timeless space, bounded, compressed in a fold. A pocket of astral plane.
Ok, c'est là. Ah, du coup, il n'y a rien ici. Je sais pas ce qu'ils veulent. Attends, il y a un truc là.
Come. We will talk in private. Just the two of us.
On va voir.
I may have made a mistake trusting you. I told you to stay away from the Githyanki. But you just couldn't help yourself. Could you? You are a worthy ally. I told you I stole the artifact from someone. Well, I stole it from Vlaakith. Since then, she has become desperate. Vlaakith wants me dead because I know her secret. It is a secret so great that if her people ever found out, that would be the end of her rule.
Oui.
The end of her.
Putain.
That same secret is how I've been protecting you from the Absolute. I can hear your thoughts. You think I'm lying. Vlaakith warned you that I would try to deceive you. But consider this. What reason have I to deceive you? I want the same thing as you. Freedom. I'm on your side. I have been since the very beginning. It seems I was right to put my faith in you after all. Thank you. Vlaakith will be furious, to make no mention of your Githyanki companion. The Lich Queen fears nothing more than the loss of her empire. The knowledge I have of her deception will bring that about. Godlike in power, yes, but with none of the sanctity. Vlaakith is lying to her people. She pretends to know how Gith destroyed the Mind Flayer Empire. In truth, she knows nothing. If the Illithid Empire were ever to return, she would be incapable of stopping them. And if her people found out about her impotence, there would be mutiny, revolution, the end of her rule.
But that very power, the power to resist illicit control, which Blackith only pretends to know, is how I've been protecting you. I suppose she hoped to extract it from my corpse. Since you spared me that fate, she will come for you. She most certainly will. I have delayed long enough. The next attack is overdue, and I can't risk you being caught in the middle of it. I need you out there, searching for the Absolute. You were on the right path, to Moonrise Towers. Return to it. I hope you are ready to face Blackith's wrath. The entire Creche stands ready to kill you in her
On bat les
name.
couilles. On bat les
Good
couilles.
luck.
Easy. Franchement easy. T'inquiète pas, Michel. Ça ne me fait point un peu. Je vais juste aller voir là. C'est stylé, hein. Est-ce que je peux aller là-bas? Non, faut pas déconner. Ah, il y a un coffre là. Oh, magnifique. Il y a un truc derrière là. Il y a un truc derrière. Je peux pas monter là? Putain, il y a un truc là à faire. Je sais pas, merde. Je sais pas. Shit.
I'm glad you came to your senses. Now leave, before the others come for us.
J'ai pas compris. Ah, nickel. Plus qu'à me barrer. C'était sûr. Bon, capitaine il est dead. Tout le monde est dead ici, non? Elle va envoyer, ouais, elle va envoyer ses troupes. Ouais. Ça va être marrant. Ouais. Moi je vais au camp, je vais me reposer. Là y a rien. Hop, go le camp. Bisous. Oh, on va aller parler à Michel. Pas être contente, mais bon.
I am Vlaakith's most loyal servant. She will not abandon me.
100,000 daggers pierce your brain as Lae'zel's anger rises.
Chuk. Its lies ring so loudly, I hear them screeching from your head to mine. There is no secret. There is no plot. Tell me you don't trust it. Tell me you reject this abomination inside.
Pour savoir quand on peut faire confiance.
The Zaithis was sabotaged.
Silence follows, as loud as thunder, as heavy as lead.
I will prove to the Undying Regent that my faith is steadier than even the throne of skulls that she sits upon. I will endure this test, and she will reward me.
T'es trop conne, toi.
Then you will understand. You will see truth. I won't let my faith, my life, come to nothing.
Keep an eye on this one. Her allegiance to her people may be stronger than her allegiance to us.
Kalir's clutch held 3 dozen eggs, more or less. Though I've learned of creches that harbored 100. Shukiani. Githyanki chosen by Vlaakith herself. The Queen assigns when and the shoot. It is a meticulous process, carefully timed, so humanoid. How I despise the term. Our biology slates state that Githyanki came to lay eggs after we escaped. It's an asexual process. A favorable change by any. Hideous to imagine a life where I couldn't partake in the pleasures of sex without the looming threat of bearing children. Go on then.
Ah, casse-toi, Michel. Ça va les couilles.
I suppose not many can boast that they've been to a Githyanki creche and survived. Perhaps that's a good omen for our chances going forward, if you're feeling optimistic. All right, some company wouldn't hurt.
Looks like we're done here. Pity. This place has been a wild ride. Fuck yes.
My first tour of a Githyanki creche. Memorable, to be certain, but the service left something to be desired. He brings to mind a story. The Devil with the Silver Tongue. An old fairy tale my father read to me. The kind with a hero, a villain, and a moral. A farmer made a deal with the devil, so the story goes. In exchange for the farmer's dearest fruit, the devil granted him a bottomless coin purse. The farmer's dearest fruit, naturally, was no apple nor peach. but his beloved daughter. We can learn a lot from fairy tales.
Ouais.
Refuse him, no matter how tempting the offer, no matter how delicious the feast he lays out for you. The cost will be too great. That's because you still have hope. But when he becomes your last hope, remember this. He'll require of you only what you're least ready to part with, and then require more still. You might think you'd give up anything for a cure, but the devil won't take just anything. He'll take everything. A possibility that's kept me awake countless nights. But I don't have a clue where to start, other than play her games and play by the rules. That's the only language devils listen to. She could kill me for one, and that's not the worst of it. My contract is very clear. I can bring Mazora no harm. She'll have to let me out of my pact willingly. The only way out is if I can out-bargain her. We're standing here with nothing but the clothes on our backs and the worms in our heads. We can. I'm sure of it. How glad I am that you see me as more than my patron's pet.
Tu viens avec quoi, Michel?
Well, that's the spirit.
You wish to speak? Well, there's hardly anyone left to share the responsibility with. Few who witnessed the fall of Moonrise still. What Ketheric Thorm unleashed is not something that nature can undo by itself. I studied the Shadow Curse for years, but to truly understand it and stop it, I must reach its source. Perhaps, but we'll need to get closer before I can put my theory. Put it from your mind for now. Once we near the curse, then there will be more to be said.
Quite the cozy setup you have here.
Oh, bref. On se casse du coup. Toi aussi, on va dormir.
Hey, soldier, Well, I'm not feeling so good. My engine is getting worse. Feels like it's going to burst out of my chest. I need to find a mechanic. A good one. Well, this thing's going boom. Never. I mean, not if I can help it. Listen, in case something happens to me, I've been wanting to tell you something. You leave your left flank wide open. If I'm ever not around to cover it, you may find yourself on the wrong side of a goblin spear one of these days.
D'accord. C'est pour ça?
Soldier.
Tout ça pour me dire ça? Non, non, elle a pas vu le niveau Elle a pas vu mon fucking niveau? Ah, Michel.
Well, my day just improved. Did you want something? Tu fais ça à cette heure-là, toi? N'importe quoi.
must have questions.
Ouais. Allez, ciao, ciao.
Hope you're keeping well, friend.
On va dormir. Hein.
Walking freely out of a Githyanki creche. A miracle if ever I've seen one. And trust me, I've seen quite a few. The very same. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. A child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistril, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistril sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral, the end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. Quite so. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go. If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls.
You know, I've been thinking, and I think there's something I should tell you. Nothing big or terrible, just a small little detail about me that hasn't come up naturally. It's just that I happen to be a... what's the best way to put this? A vampire. And by rights, I should be cinders, blowing in the wind. But something's protecting me. The same something that's kept us from turning into mind flayers, no doubt. But that's neither here nor there. What matters is everything's out in the open now. Because we trust each other. Exactly. I knew I could rely on you. Just like you can rely on me. Now, was there anything else? It's simple. Just find a vampire that will drink your blood and turn you into a vampire spawn. They're obedient and puppet. In theory, the next step is to drink their blood. Once you've done that, you're free. And a true vampire. Yes and no. The problem is, once you're a vampire spawn, they completely control you. They have to allow you to bite them. And why would they do that? Vampires are power-hungry creatures. They won't lose a servant to create a competitor. Trust me, it doesn't happen. Why do you insist on exhuming the past? I was a slave. A vampire spawn. Kept by the Tsar family. Perhaps I still am. I was never able to resist their commands. But now, I've been conveniently lost. They won't ever control me again. Who knows? Drow? Mind flayers? Death? Hopefully not ours. But maybe answers. If we can convince the right people to talk.
Ouais.
I've come to sate you and be sated. I lead, you follow.
Je comprends pas, j'ai tué tous ses potes. Elle va me tuer, c'est sûr.
So you think. Let's see if you're right.
Gith train bodies inside and out.